wide heading towards turn 1. And I had a funny feeling this wasn't going to go well. In towards the left. So I'm like, okay, I've got a really good run here. I'm going to go for the move down the inside. I'm going to be aggressive as well. Wow, are they going to be on 4 wide? No, 3 wide. 3 wide. Vamos, unfortunately. Welcome then to week 52, the last one of the year of the Gran Turismo weekly race guide. Here for you. It's actually the last week 52 in GT Sport because next year it should be GT7. But yeah, more of that later. We're in Japan for all 3 races this week. It's a full Japan affair. And as you can see in the background, including the cars as well. Let's have a look at the race details first of all. We're racing 3 laps and we're at Suzuka. I haven't mentioned that and it's the full circuit. It's the grid start with traction control on 1 and sports medium tyres. And if you haven't spotted it already or you do not know what car that is because you never played Gran Turismo 1, that is a Honda NSX. And this race is actually quite good. Without further ado then, let's jump to the race and let's have a look at exactly what happened. Here we are then at the start. Look at the NSXs. No one's flashing. Not one person flashing, but we're starting in P11 in the yellow, obviously, because the channel is yellow, as I say, every week. Mixture of DR levels here. Brake balance -2. That was just to sort of help with the MR layout of the car. Traction control to 1, as I said in the intro, and off we go, and we turn that off just before we change gear. No, after this time. But you should change it before. Now, look at this radar. 4 wide heading towards turn 1. And I had a funny feeling this wasn't going to go well. So you're going to see me back completely out of this. And let everybody go to the Shadow Realm. And we'll go down the inside. How about that? So, yeah, we're going to get 2 positions here. They turned in a bit more than... maybe didn't realize I was there, to be honest. Because this Polish driver is actually really good, as you will see in a second. So in towards the left we go. A couple more going to Narnia here. And we've got the British driver absolutely sending Pandorino to Narnia. My word, that was a send and a half by Jenkins. No idea what's going on here, but with the Polish driver here on the right side, I have a good little race here, side by side. We give each other just enough space here. This is beautiful racing. So a shout out to you there, the Gorski, as we come through that. I think it's that. My screen's a little bit small, so I can't see. Let's advance a bit further on then. Gorski, there we go. So in towards the hairpin we go. And I was expecting chaos here again. Not quite so much. The Finnish driver down the inside of the Brit there. And yeah, a bit status quo for now. But we are very close to getting this cursed position already in the race. How about that? Let's fast forward a little bit here. Heading towards Spoon then. And unfortunately for Jenkins, just puts their rear right tyre on the green stuff. And we'll take that position nice and easy. So through the rest of Spoon we go. Now Mika and the G-Funk are going to have a bit of a side-by-side moment heading towards 130R. Now, one thing I always say about 130R, never really do it side-by-side, especially in a daily race, because it's always going to end in tears. Will this end in tears? Let's see then. In towards the left we go. The Finnish driver goes deep. The Brit realizes that. And we're going to take both positions off them. A bit of a buy one, get one free offer there. And yeah, we're up into the curse one. Happy days here. Through the right we go, and oh, the Austrian there just getting a penalty as well. So let's see if we can get P5 off them then. Socky happy, not so happy with that penalty, that's for sure. As we finish lap 1 and head on to lap number 2. It's quite insane that this is the full circuit, to be honest with you. Let's actually go into a lap guide here. So we're going to head down towards turn 1 then. And what you're going to have to do is look on the left hand side. So you've got the lights there, or the 100-meter board, and you're braking just after they leave the screen. Now, I brake 4th gear, and I really just point the car in, and I just try and keep the car as balanced as possible. And then I change to 3rd gear once it's settled. I'm just trying to balance the car around the corner, then you can see that. It's just a little bit of braking there. Nothing major in terms of 100% and off. And then as we go into these, I'm braking a little bit here, but you don't have to. You can just lift off for these, and you should be able to get around them, no problem. As you can see here, it's all about balancing the car. Again, just lifting off slowly, just keeping on the throttle just that little bit. Now, as we get towards this right-hander, you are going to have to brake a little bit here. You can see that down on the left-hand side there. And it's just as that curb is approaching the edge of your screen. You want to brake and then let the car roll a little bit here. Again, slowing down a little bit. Get to the right-hand side as much as you can. For this left-hander, you turn in. You're going to let off a little bit. As you click the curb, go full throttle, and you should be able to make it. You can get it wrong, though, and understeer off, so just be careful with that corner. You don't want to understeer off in a 3-lap race. Head towards Tidgney 1 then, and they called it Lesmo 1, but not Monza. The flag indicator on the left-hand side. Brake as close to that as you possibly can. You're going to stay in 4th gear here and try and cut a little bit of the inside there. We carry on, and now I normally use the edge of the curb here, but I've highlighted this on the left-hand side, this big white area there. As that leaves your screen, you can brake there as well, and you're going to drop to third gear then. Don't go to second here. Third is enough. As you go through here, it will just get into the peak area of power, and you can accelerate through in a very stable way. So I'm going to head towards the hairpin then. I keep in third gear here. It hits the limiter once, but then you're going to go into the braking phase here at the end of the curb on the right-hand side. And I'm only going to drop to second gear. Now, you could go to fourth, and some people will go to fourth, but you're going to carry a bit more speed. You'll have to brake a little bit earlier as well, so I tend to just stay in third there. There's no real point going to that fourth gear. Now, we are in slipstream now of the French driver up ahead, and we have really pulled a gap to the Austrian behind. My word, 3.5 seconds. So we do know what we're doing a little bit here. As we head up to Spoon. Now, Spoon, we're going to break in early here. The 100-meter board there on the right side. This is very early for Spoon. I'm normally braking at the tarmac area, but 100-meter here, braking early. I want to keep the car as stable as possible. So the main goal in road cars is to keep it stable. So you notice I'm just rolling through the corner. I've dropped to third gear now. And before the edge of that curb there, I'm already turning in. Again, I'm just rolling. I'm hardly doing anything with the car, keeping it stable. And once I'm happy, I hit full throttle and off we go. Heading towards 130R. Now, 130R, as you saw in the previous clip, you do have to brake for here. So it is a bit unusual that we are going to be pausing it here for a marker. So what you're looking for is after the 100-meter board, but before that second tannoy that I've highlighted there. So you got the 2 tannoys that you could use, but you're braking before that, and you want to keep it in fourth gear. Let the car roll through the corner. You can do it at 110 just, but if you get a little bit of understeer, you can't. As we then head towards the Casio triangle. And as that yellow line appears on the right-hand side, very hard to see here, but as you race it, you'll notice it. As it starts to appear, that's where I brake for the Casio triangle all the time in most cars. It's a good marker. Now, you can cut quite a lot of this right-hander and the left as well, but we're going for some form of cutback if we can against Thunderfoot. Not going to get it at the moment. But that is a lap guide here at Suzuka in this NSX. Very Gran Turismo 1-esque here in terms of the NSX. Now, let's see what we can do against Thunderfoot then. So they've got a bit of slipstream from the car up ahead, so we're going to pull back in, and we're looking to try and scare them as much as we can here. So I'm staying in fourth gear there, and they just lose the rate. Notice how the car got unbalanced very quickly under braking. Unfortunately, they come back when they're trying to catch it and hit me, so I'm giving them a lot of room on the exit here. You know, I can't do anything other than give them room as we then go into this left-hander then. I'm keeping my car there. And then they're just going to turn in here while I was there, which I was a bit disappointed in. I was hoping for some good side-by-side, but we're keeping it as clean as we can here as we go through this left-hander. Again, just leaving enough room here. And again, just a little bit of contact there, but I would say that's all fine in the grand scheme of it. It's a little bit rubbing, but, you know, we all survived. There was lots of room on the circuit, and we're just trying to continue racing. So up into P3, a podium position then. And let's advance then a bit further on to the 130R. So I'm about to show you how not to do the 130R. Yes, I'm spoiling it already. So we're going to head there now, and I'm going to brake a lot later here. So after that second tannoy, as I said, and you should be braking before it. So this is after it. Notice how I ran wide. I managed to save it just here. Going to this braking zone, I did see the white car behind run wide at 130R, so I knew they were going to come in very hot. I managed to stop it there just. Fortunately, we don't get a penalty, and it looks like we are going to keep that P3 then. Fortunately, my word, that was a bit scary with that white NSX just appearing in the rear view like that. Quite good races, actually, for a race A. I was actually very happy with this race. I enjoyed it, actually, more than I expected. So do give it a try. I think you can have some good racing here. Very good car control to learn here as well. But as I say, that's it for race A. Race A. Let's head to race B. Welcome to Kyoto then, and in particular, it's Yamagiwa in reverse. So quite an unusual combo, this. One I don't think we've done in terms of the weekly races. Since when I looked at the details of it all, it definitely didn't appear. So, something new once again for you. Let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 5 laps here at Yamagiwa in reverse. It's a rolling start, but you should be fine in terms of that. And racing medium tyres, which is our standard now for race B. As you can see in the background, I chose the Toyota Supra, which seems to be the best car here. It's fast, it's got good levels of downforce, so it's very good down the hill. Seems to be the meta car here, but we might see some others come to fruition, especially sort of the Peugeot or Beetle may come into play. We'll have to wait and see though. Thank you, Mugino, in terms of the livery from Driver's Room, of course. Do check them out in terms of liveries and as a community as well. Let's head to the race then, and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start. As you can see, Supra dominated here. We've got Subaru, a Beetle, and Consta in that FT1. Oh, we've got a Beetle at the back as well. But of course, I chose the Supra, as you already aware. Now, brake balance, I chose +1 for the Supra. It does vary occasionally, but it seems to work out fairly okay with +1. Pick what you like in terms of that. The Group 3, generally, you can normally bring what you like, but I do think, as I say, power and downforce is going to reign supreme here, which is why the Supra is so strong. And normally with Race B, we go straight into the guide, but we're not going to do that this week. We'll be doing that a little bit later on. We've got some racing action straight off the back. Back? I meant bats there. I have no idea what has happened to my English language over the Christmas period, but there we go as we get a little bit of oversteer. And we continue on behind Constant in towards this very hard right-hander to get right. It really is. Through the left, then we go. I'm going to head up the hill then in towards this right-hander. And Constant goes down the inside then of the German Kiwi. And that looks fairly okay to me. Constant did make the apex, and I think the German just didn't realise there. But can we get past the German? So not quite at the moment. Another dangerous corner coming up with this chicane. We're going to slow it down a little bit. The German Kiwi goes very quick into there. And this is one of the big mistakes a lot of people make, is going too fast into that chicane. It's better to take it nice and easy, and you'll benefit from it. So we're going to catch up to another Greek here, Ensid. And we are going to have a bit of a problem with this guy. So they slightly tap us through here, but I thought nothing of it really. But we're coming through here, and they're about to understeer right into the rear quarter of my car. Nearly got pit maneuvered there, but I survived. But I thought, oh, okay, maybe just 2 little mistakes. We'll carry on racing. But is it 2 little mistakes? Well, we'll find out shortly as we come through here then. So they're going to go towards the left-hand side here. And then a bit of a push there again, so I have to really slam on, and it makes the car go all weird and horrible. But hey, we survive, and we continue on through. You can see Consta in the distance on the back of Wolby there. So I'm going to stick to the left-hand side. Defend this position to save my life and time in this race. So in towards the braking zone we go. And we're just going to keep it tight here, as tight as possible. And that is what we do. So through we go, keeping it in 3rd gear. I will explain that later on. And we're going to head towards this right-hander, yellow flag coming up. But no, this Greek says I'm going to make this an overtaking opportunity, and just pushes me completely off the circuit. That was not making the apex. That was not making the corner without me being there. So a bit of a prat. So I was a bit annoyed. I was flashing my lights. Once again, the Greek had been off circuit at the chicane. Let's see what we can do now. I say I was a bit frustrated by it. So in towards the right-hander we go. We're going to get very close here. And they're going to run off the circuit. So we stay towards the right. And then again, they turn into us then. I'm not sure whether they were catching it or not. Been a bit frustrated, let's be honest. But I was like, okay, right, we're past now. Breathe, relax. Let's catch up to that P10, P9 battle, and we can carry on. So in towards the braking zone we go. And happy days. It's status quo at the moment. So through the right-hander. And once again, I'm going to have to stay to the left-hand side here once again. Because they're going to go for the move, of course, which they have every right to do. So we go defensive here. And we're going to force them over towards the right-hand side a little bit here. In towards the braking zone we go. And we get it stopped again. And this time, once again, they go for just the pushing out the way maneuver there. I was not very happy at this point. This is well over 3 strikes, of course, as you are very well aware. I work with a 3-strike rule. So I decided I was going to go aggressive here, because I kind of figured it's not dirty driving per se. It's just really bad driving. So I was going to go for very aggressive overtaking myself to counteract that. So going through here then. Going to get very close, but not quite as close this time. Look down there, and again, they turn over to the left there to sort of do a block defend there. I really don't like that. And then through the right-hander we go. In towards the left. So I'm like, okay, I've got a really good run here. I'm going to go for the move down the inside. I'm going to be aggressive as well. Really late on the brakes here. Get it stopped. A little bit of a bump from the rear. And then I kind of realized what was going to happen here is they were going to understeer off because they were being so aggressive. And look what happened. What do you know? Into the barrier, and then they try and wipe out the Beetle behind. I'm not sure what that was about. But, hey, we carry on racing. They're long gone now, and we can look into the distance. As we see Consta, another Greek goes off there. Poor Consta. Hello, darkness, my old friend. No, we won't play that. We won't play that. We don't want copyright as we continue on through there. So we're catching up to Wolby here. Wolby's got a penalty through the chicane, unfortunately. And we're getting very close here. A little bit of braking on that Beetle. And round we got weird braking, actually. I didn't realize you were braking so much there, mate. But we're going to be side by side here. And coming up, this is nice racing. I like this. I just got by there. They backed out of it a little bit. So I then had to slow down a lot there through there. And good move there, in my opinion. But it is time for that guide. I know that's why a lot of you are actually here and not just the entertainment of me being plebbed off to the realm. Speaking of realm, somebody's off to the realm in the distance. Who's that? Anunnaki. I have no idea how to say that. That person in P7. Anyway, turn 1, left-hand side. You see that big dark area there. As that leaves your screen, you're going to hit the brake pedal and you're going to drop to 3rd gear in the Supra. Other gears are available if you want to pick those, but 3rd gear keeps it stable. And I'll show you why now. So coming through here, I'm a little bit low in the revs, but Anunnaki goes off to the realm, meets Barry R on that left-hand side. So 3rd gear just helps with that wheel spin. Next corner, 50-meter board. You're braking just before this, and you're going to keep it in 4th gear. If you drop to 3rd, you're going to get a little bit of weird oversteer. But 4th gear keeps it stable. You can accelerate through the corner, and you'll instantly be in the power band just on the exit when you need it. Top of the hill. We have the start of the curb on the left-hand side. I know when Irish, I went, top of the morning to you. But yes, curb on the left-hand side. You're going to hit the brake pedal. That was the worst Irish accent in history. 2nd gear here. I did try 3rd gear for a while, but it's just too low in the revs. And you see 2nd gear, you get a bit of oversteer. So just be careful of that. You might want to short shift to 3rd just on the exit briefly. Heading down here, then this is where it gets tricky. So you want to start lighting off. And then you're going to start looking to brake as that yellow painted bit appears on the barrier. It's where the cones are, which is kind of nice. But you only want to brake like 50%, then 100% in straight line, then let go and let the car just do the talking then through the rest of that layout. If you brake at any more point during that, you're going to understeer off and go off like you saw earlier with NSID and some of the other drivers in this race. So it's nice to keep it stable. Now here, you don't have to brake at all. So as you pass that 50-meter board or the line, whichever one you want to use, just lift off. Let the car roll through the corner now. That's what I do. I brake a little bit here, but you can roll it, and then get as close to that as possible. Then hit your throttle, and you will make the corner. Now, as I say, you saw a little bit of braking there. You don't need to brake. Trust me on this. You can just let off, let the car roll through the corner, and as that pole appears, accelerate, and you will make it. Stay in 5th gear. Do not change gear there at any point, and you will make good lap times. Heading down here, then, you're going to balance the car here. So you're going to have to let off a little bit here. So you notice I'm letting off the throttle. Not completely. I'm keeping it on the throttle a little bit. That's absolutely fine. Then in towards this last corner, it'll literally bang on as the 50-meter board leaves your screen. You're going to sort of point the car towards the apex and start to brake. And then you'll want the car to roll a little bit. Now, I've taken a bit of a wider line here. I'm being patient on the throttle there. Notice it's on 50%. I'm just being patient. And when I'm happy, I can go. And luckily for us, someone's binned it into barrier. And we're about to get the curse position as well. What an interesting race. Now, you can have some good races here as well. Don't get me wrong. We just had a bit of an incident there with the Greek, who, I think it was more bad driving than dirty. Make of it as you wish. But let's now head to race C, where it's going to get very, very interesting. Welcome to Fuji then, to finish off our full Japanese affair here, being in Japan for all 3 races. And as you can see, we are in a Group 1 machinery in the background, which does mean hybrid is going to come into play here. Let's have a look at the race details first of all. We're racing 13 laps here at Fuji. It's a rolling start. We're racing on soft and medium tyres. Both are required. ×2 fuel, ×7 tyres, and of course, that is all you need to know. Thank you very much to Mungino again. Both of Mungino's deliveries in this week. Once again, from Driver's Room, do check them out. They made loads this week. Boss K80, man, you made tons. Thank you so much. Thank you to anyone who makes deliveries. You don't have to be part of Driver's Room to make a delivery either. I checked them all out. Just put the tag Tidgney a couple of days beforehand, and now we'll have a look. Let's jump to the race then. I'll talk you through a lap guide, some of the strategy, and some fantastic and unusual racing action as well. Here we are then at the start. I didn't talk about car. So the Toyota, you can see, is being used by the vast majority of people, and it's all to do with hybrid. Apart from the LM Nismo. Yes, Longboy is here by Beloff. Is that the old Beloff? I'm not too sure, but shout out to you. Brake balance, +3/4 I was using, +3 at the moment. Basically, it was a decision later on in the race, and you'll see it, where I went to +4 to try and conserve my front tyres. But as I say, you'll see that a little bit later on. Now, remember, tyre wear means tyre temp. I need to get that printed somewhere, I think, because I say it every single week. So just weave a little bit on the start-finish straight as you head towards turn 1. Now, remember, mediums and softs are both required, so I'm starting on the mediums here, and you can see a lot of action already happening up ahead, which is unusual, as I say, for Group 1 with that dirty. In fact, speaking of action, we've got somebody off there. We've got 2 people off there. Mad Gunner gone as well. Shout out to you, Mad Gunner. You said hello in the chat, so hello to you as well. So through the left-hander then, you can see a lot of side-by-side action up ahead. What are they, 3 wide there at the moment? I think there's lots of aliens in this, as well as fast drivers, so there's a mixture of all sorts happening everywhere. You got Medi in there. The Medi, oh, Wind gets a full lock of oversteer. Manages to catch it though. Well caught, Wind. And we continue on. We've got Conster in there as well. This is going to be 3 wide heading towards. Wow, are they going to be on 4 wide? No, 3 wide. 3 wide. My word. They're doing very well though to keep it clean. Medi just falling back a little bit here. I was hoping to follow Medi through here at this moment in time because I was like, excellent, I can follow Medi all the way through. But Boosted Boy there just gets all sorts of wrong. We're going to go on the inside of both of them and gain 2 more positions. So that old Boosted Boy didn't really like the fact that I overtook, it looks like, because he just absolutely dived down the inside, and I was basically had to let off completely to avoid going off the circuit. So I didn't particularly like that overtake. As we come into this right-hander, we've got Team 111 there with a penalty. So we're up to P14 from P19. So we've not done too bad in the grand scheme of it, and we've got a bit of a run here on Boosted Boy. I think that's the older Toyota, actually, isn't it? Is that the TS030? I'm not too sure. It looks a little bit different. We're obviously in the 050 as we head towards turn 1 then. And we've got Short Ride looking down the inside. Boosted Boy goes a little bit deep here. I'd leave just enough room there for the Brit on the right side. And we're going to keep this position. In fact, somebody's gone off there. What? How have we gained a position? I didn't even spot that. We've gained a position somehow. So, oh, the penalty. Of course it was. So in P13. I am losing the plot here as we go through this right-hander. But you saw Boosted Boy there cut the corner plus 1 second. And yeah, cute karma there because I was quite happy with him getting that. Go a little bit deep here and up in the distance. See another spinner there. That's the Spaniard going off and about to quit the race as well. Sorry to see that, but we continue on. You see a lot of people go in on lap 4. Now, I was catching this Audi, by the way. Audi not the one to pick because the hybrid just runs out during the race unless you're God at hybrid. I don't think you can use that car, to be honest. But down the inside we go. So just talk about strategy for a second. A lot of people came in on lap 4. I'm going to come in on lap 5. And Medi's going to come in on lap 6, which we'll look at after. Now, you actually want to avoid traffic is the main thing you want to do here. Avoiding traffic, avoiding that dirty air, and you will gain a lot of time in this. As we come in here very quickly, we're going to leave the pit. I'm going to point out the brake marker for turn 1 here, which is on the left-hand side there. So that poster, the one before the 50-meter sign, as that edge of that poster leaves your screen, that's when you brake, and you should be able to make the first corner absolutely fine. As we see, we've just come out ahead of Sparks here and Mad Gunner. They came in, obviously, a lap earlier. Now, the undercut is big here, plus 17 seconds in terms of pit stop. But the undercut is big because the soft tyre is, it's very good. You see Medi's just come out, and as has Momoz here has just come out as well. So Momo's going to keep that position. And we are going to get stuck behind Momoz here a little bit with that dirty air. And this is what I mean about traffic. So you want to kind of avoid the traffic where you can. So we're going to head down towards the chicane here. Now, I should have gone for it here. I really should have gone for it. But I was staying behind because I wanted to overtake on the straight. Go for a nice, easy overtake on the straight. However, Momoz absolutely destroys this section of the circuit. And I'm going to struggle to keep up with Momoz here through here. So I actually made a bad call there. And I should have gone for the move. But in towards the left-hander we go. And you can see I'm trying to stay as close as humanly possible. You see Medi in the distance already on the back of that other train. And now I'm trying to keep it really tight here. And I'll explain why in the lap guide shortly. But coming out of there, look at Momoz go. Just gets a beautiful exit. And we ain't catching up on the straight. So we're going to get stuck behind Momoz for another few laps or so. And we're going to advance a bit further on then in terms of time scale. And we're actually going to head to a lap guide as well. So you see we've caught up to Momoz this time, a few laps later, and we are closer. So we are going to look for the move. But in terms of brake marker for turn 1, on the left-hand side, you've got the grandstand. So as the edge of that grandstand there leaves your screen, that's when you want to hit the brakes. You can see I've gone to brake balance 4 here just to conserve the tyres a little bit. But we're near the apex beautifully here. Nice, easy move down the inside on Momoz. I had a good race with Momoz, so shout out to you. He said I'm sorry in the lobby after. I'm not sure why. It was a nice race. Happy days. So we're going to head towards turn 2 then. On the left-hand side, I used this previously. Where the grey barrier and white barrier meets, that's what I'm using. In the soft tyre, you can brake just after that. And you can start to aim towards the orange painted barrier. But that's what I was using generally in this. You want to upshift to 5th gear here. And then you want to drop to 4th through the corner. Balance the car with the throttle. And then head towards the right-hand side. And now as the curb on the left-hand side leaves your screen, that's when you brake, and that's when you're going to go to second gear here. And we should be advancing there. Second gear, hit that corner, and then accelerate through. Your car should grip. You get a little bit of oversteer, like you saw Wind get earlier on, but it shouldn't be too much. You should be able to catch it as we head down towards the chicane. Then on the right side, as that painted orange barrier just leaves your screen, that's when you're going to brake. Very easy to outbrake yourself here, especially later on in the race when the tyres are very worn. So just be careful of that. Now, I'm going to outbrake myself a little bit. So I dropped the first gear to slow the car down a little bit more. Nice little trick you can use, but second gear there should be the only gear you're in. Now, on the right side, you've got that tannoy. So as that leaves your screen, you want to brake and drop to second gear in this Toyota. Obviously, if you're in a different car, other gears may vary. Or other cars may vary with their gearing. So through there we go, up to third gear. Now on the left-hand side, as that curb starts to end, you're going to brake, and it's trail braking and just edging out towards the edge of the circuit to come back in as well. So you get a nice apex through this corner. There you go. And that's how you do it. So it's one constant turn then. A little bit of curb causes a bit of oversteer there. Last corner, right-hand side, the painted orange barrier. As that leaves your screen, you're going to brake. Now, I would recommend keeping a tighter line here than normal. Obviously, in the past, I normally recommend 2 lines. The outside line and the inside line. But because you've got a hybrid here, you want the inside line because you just want to get round and go. You don't need to go for an outside line and a boost off. The hybrid's only going to work to a certain speed. So, literally, keep for a tight line. I'm going to go for a tight line here again. Just get it a little bit wrong there. A little bit of oversteer. Momoz does as well. We're both going to accelerate. Get understeer. Now, I lift. Momoz doesn't lift there. Goes on the grass. So, we're going to advance a bit further on here. You got to be careful of this at turn 1 if you do go off. Momoz, unfortunately, got dirt on their tyres. Just near misses me there. Was trying to avoid me at all costs. I could definitely tell that. So don't worry about it, Momoz. But yeah, just be careful if you do have dirt on your tyres. Right, into the chicane we go. We're very close to the Spaniard now. I'm going to get a good run out of here. Notice the run that we get. We get on the hybrid early because we're straight. Down the inside we go. We scare the Spaniard a little bit here. And down the inside we go. Going to be outside for this corner, but I think the Spaniard gives it up there. And we're going to get that position up into P7. Wind up ahead. So remember, Wind dropped back behind me earlier on with the mistake. But with that undercut and some smart strategy, Wind has got ahead of me now. But can we catch Wind on the final lap? Because obviously their tyres are going to be more worn. Well, let's advance that a little bit further. And no, we are not. We did catch up a little bit, but not quite enough. So it's going to be a P7 finish for me. I actually like this week. I think this week is a really good week in terms of racing. Lots to race with. Lots of racing action on all 3 circuits. And yeah, a brilliant one to try out. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good Christmas. And I hope you have a good New Year as well. This is the last one of the year, of course. Episode 52. 2 videos there if you want to check them out. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. And do like the video if you have enjoyed it. It does help the channel and it costs you absolutely nothing. Once again, I hope you had a good Christmas. Have a good New Year. And I hope to see you again in another video or live stream very soon.